Dwaita versus Advaita. In this video, we will be looking at two schools of Vedanta in Hinduism and we will be comparing them, and I will try to give my perspective from the point of view of Advaita Vedanta to show why Advaita Vedanta is the ultimate philosophy in explaining the nature of reality and why Advaita Vedanta is the religion or philosophy of the future. So let us understand these two schools of Vedanta in this video. Before we go ahead, for those of you who are new to this, let me explain what we are discussing here. Vedanta is based on the teachings of Upanishads, and Upanishads are the essential or the concluding teachings of the Vedas, and Vedas are the foundational knowledge for Hinduism. So whatever we call Hinduism or the Sanatana Dharma, the foundation for it are the Vedas, and the essence of the Vedas and the conclusion of the Vedas, which explain to us what this reality actually is, what God is, and what this existence actually is, are the Upanishads. So Upanishads do not concern themselves with the teaching of rituals, of puja, etc. They only focus on knowledge of self, and they tell us what this reality actually is and who God is and what this universe is truly about. And Vedanta is nothing but the study of the Upanishads. So within Vedanta there are different schools. There is Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, and so on. But in this video we will be taking up two popular schools of Vedanta, which are Advaita and Dwaita. One is non-dualism and the other one is dualism. And through this we will understand what these two schools are about and how they explain their point of view. First of all, non-dualism is what the name itself says. It says that this world that we see all around us is based on one absolute reality, and everything comes from that reality, and everything goes to that reality, and the world, the way we perceive it today, is simply a lower form of reality, or it is an illusion. This is the fundamental teaching of non-dualism, and our channel and my interest is primarily about Advaita Vedanta, and most of the videos that we create on this channel is based on the teaching of this non-dualism. The Dwaita school says that this reality is as it is. We are separate and the world is separate and the God is separate, and these are all separate from each other and they are not actually one. This is the teaching of the Dwaita school of Vedanta. Dwaita school of Vedanta is a branch of Hindu philosophy that focuses on the study of the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutras, just like Advaita Vedanta. But the interpretations are different. Dwaita is a Sanskrit term meaning dualism. It was established by the philosopher Madhvacharya in the 13th century. According to this philosophy, God is seen as an independent eternal reality, while souls, jivas and matter, jagat, are dependent on him. And Madhva's Dvaita Vedanta asserts 5 fundamental eternal differences. The Pancha Bheda. 1. The difference between God and an individual soul. 2nd, difference between God and matter. 3rd, difference between soul and matter. 4th, difference between one soul and another soul. 5th, difference between one matter and another matter. So this is how Dvaita philosophy explains the reality. Advaita Vedanta, on the other hand, was established in this way by the great Adi Shankaracharya. The term Advaita translates to non-dualism, and Advaita Vedanta states that the human soul, Atman, and the divine reality, Brahman, are one and the same. Only because of the identification with the body and mind, we right now feel it as something which is different. And Advaita Vedanta is the most direct and clear interpretation of the Upanishads. There are some common objections or issues that the school of Dvaita has over the Advaita Vedanta school. So I will now try to answer them one by one, and at the end I will try to give my perspective and my understanding of Advaita Vedanta and why it is the ultimate philosophy. Now some of the objections that the Dvaita school has are these. One, Advaita is all about Mayavada, which takes this universe to be an illusion. Of course, the teaching of Advaita Vedanta states that there is one absolute reality. And if there is one absolute reality, then the rest of it should be lower reality or should be an illusion. But there is a lot of depth to the teachings of Advaita Vedanta. When we look at it from the surface level, most of us will not understand it. What Advaita Vedanta tells us is that there are three levels of realities. One is Paramarthika Satya, which is the absolute reality or God or consciousness. So Advaita Vedanta regards consciousness as the highest and it regards pure consciousness as God. And it says that consciousness is the ultimate reality. And second, there is Vyavaharika Satya, which is transactional reality. This is the reality in which we are in which our universe as it is right now is. And third is Pratibhasika Satya, which is an illusory reality. A dream or an imagination will come under this level of reality. But to understand what Maya is, let us focus on these two levels of reality, which is the ultimate reality and the transactional reality. What Advaita Vedanta tells us is that just like how when we dream different dreams, and when we are within our dreams, we take that dream to be an absolute reality and we experience that dream reality to be actually real. And once we wake up from that dream, we realize that whatever happened in the dream was a lower form of reality or was an illusion. So let's say you won a lottery in your dream. Once you wake up, it doesn't bring you anything. So nothing truly changed in your life. What we say is whatever happened in our dream is an illusion. So what Advaita Vedanta tells us is that even this waking reality is a big dream in which we are in. And we need to wake up from this to the ultimate reality or God. And that process is called enlightenment. And once we are enlightened to the true nature of reality, we will look at this entire universe as simply a dream or a projection in God or consciousness. And all of it is simply one. Just like within your dream, how the people around you, the sky, the road was all one projection within your mind and was all just one reality, but temporarily you are experiencing it as separate in your dream. And once you woke up, you realize that it was all just a projection in your mind. This reality is also a lower form of reality or an illusion, says Advaita Vedanta. And this is because of Maya. And Maya is simply the word that we use to explain the projection or the dream of the universe. So within the dream, we experience the dream world as real. This was Maya. And within this waking reality, we are experiencing this world as real. This is Maya. Once we give up this world and once we realize God, we will understand this reality for what it truly is. This is the fundamental teaching of Advaita Vedanta. The second objection on Advaita Vedanta is that Advaita Vedanta does not believe in God. This is absolutely not true. Advaita Vedanta believes in God, accepts God. Not only that, it says that God is the ultimate reality. If we carefully look at the teachings of Advaita Vedanta and the school of Dwaita, there is some fundamental differences that we can see. Advaita Vedanta says God is absolute. He is infinite. He is eternal. Even though Dwaita says that God is powerful and He is ultimate, it says that this reality as it is also real. It says that the people within this reality are separate from God. But think about it. If there is God and if there is something separate from God, and if God is something and He is not something else, this means that we are putting some limitations to that God. But as per Advaita Vedanta, God is infinite, and what is actually an infinite has no limit to it. By definition, has no boundary to it. So we cannot say this is God and this is not God. We cannot say God is something else and we are something else. This is what we need to understand. If God is truly infinite and if God is truly powerful, then this entire universe in and through is God. And that is the teaching of Advaita Vedanta. So Advaita Vedanta accepts God to be true. Not only that, it says God is ultimate and He is infinite and limitless. Now the third objection is that the teachers of Advaita Vedanta believe that they themselves are God. This is looking at it from a surface. Advaita Vedanta never says that this body and mind is God. Advaita Vedanta's teachings are very deep and we need to study it thoroughly in order to truly understand what it is telling us. Advaita Vedanta says that there is some fundamental force in this universe. There is that pure awareness from which the universe has come about, through which the universe exists and into which the universe subsides. Advaita Vedanta simply says that that fundamental force, which is the cause for the universe to exist, is God. And it says that fundamental force is the reason for my own existence, since that fundamental force is the reason for the existence of the entire universe. And that fundamental force is who I truly am. Right now I'm not that, because right now I think that I am this body and mind. But deep within me there is that pure awareness which is witnessing all that I'm doing, which is the reason for my existence. And that pure awareness is God, and that God is deep within me, says Advaita Vedanta. And another objection that comes on Advaita is that the Advaita practitioners do not accept or do not practice bhakti or devotion. This is also not true. Adi Shankaracharya, who was the great teacher and who was the strongest proponent of Advaita Vedanta, was one of the greatest devotees on the planet. He composed number of devotional texts which are very popular, and he practiced bhakti throughout his life. Devotion and knowledge need not be two separate things. Devotion and knowledge can be practiced together. This is the teaching of Advaita Vedanta, and some of the teachers of Advaita Vedanta that I know are personally very much involved in devotional practices, and they are the practitioners of Bhakti Yoga also. So Jnana Yoga need not be practiced independently, but Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga can go together. And another thing the school of Dwaita tells is that we might be similar or same as God in quality, but we are different in quantity. So this is the teaching of some of the dualist schools that there are out there, that we are one with God in terms of quality, but not in terms of quantity. The example is that of a tree and the forest. So even though a tree is part of the forest, it is not the forest itself. And even though a wave is part of the ocean, it is not the ocean itself. Just like this, we cannot call ourselves as God because we are not that infinite God. Now this on the surface level makes sense. But if we go very deep, what we will realize is that that which is called God, that which is explained as God in the Vedas and Upanishads, is called as Nirguna Brahman. It does not have any qualities to it. It does not have any quantities to it. It does not have any form to it. It is pure awareness. So in that regard, we are actually one with God at the deepest level. And quantity cannot separate us from God, because that which is truly God, that Nirguna Brahman, has no quantity to it. So this argument will also fall apart very soon. Now to conclude this video and to give you the overall teaching of Advaita Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta will not tell anyone to believe in this philosophy without intellectually debating it and without intellectually and logically thinking about it. No other philosophy in the world can make this promise. Advaita Vedanta is the only philosophy, as far as I know, which says think about it logically and look at your own experiences and then come to a understanding of what reality is. So this is a scientific philosophy, and this philosophy is for the modern mind. All Advaita Vedanta tells us is that there is one absolute reality, and that absolute reality is pure awareness or consciousness. And we right now are in a dream within that awareness or consciousness. And everything that we see all around us is happening in our consciousness. Just look at your own experiences. The video you're watching right now, your eyes are seeing them, and then your eyes are passing the signals to your brain, and your brain is interpreting the signals, and your mind is experiencing your brain, and the awareness or consciousness is actually witnessing everything. So everything that is happening in this world is happening in your awareness or consciousness, and everything that happens in anyone's life happens in awareness or consciousness, and this entire universe is happening in a universal awareness or consciousness, says Vedanta. And once we wake up to that universal awareness and consciousness, we will realize that we ourselves are that universal consciousness. That is the teaching of Advaita Vedanta. And if you are interested in the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, you can check out my book Decoding God, which is available on Amazon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. If you liked the video, check out this next, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you and welcome to our community.